We are here today in East Tosa, which is our final day of the races each year. And today we are blessed to have a couple of folks join us. First up to bat is Paul Post. Paul is the Center Director for Mathnasium, the Math Learning Center. There are over 1,000 of them across the United States, and we're lucky to have one here on North Avenue. I can also tell you my daughter is a client, I guess I'll say.
She's great. She's
learning lots in the summer with Paul and his crew. So Paul is one of the sponsors of the East Tosa Gran Prix. And Paul, we just wanted to ask you a couple of questions today.
Absolutely.
First of all, how did you originally get involved in supporting the event here in Tosa?
You know, when Mathnasium opened here a few years ago, Derek, who owns the center, was very interested in getting involved in any community outreach he could, and the TETNA organization as a whole is just a very strong organization. And the opportunity with the tour coming through and the kid element was really attractive. So I think we've been involved every year that Mathnasium's existed here, and I know for the last two we've sponsored the kids bike corral and provided some volunteers to help with that, and it's been just an amazing experience for us to just be able to be out with all the families in the area.
Absolutely. And East Tosa has a great kids race and kids event. It's very family friendly. Well, Paul, we want to thank you for being here this morning. We hope you'll be a continued supporter for the long time to come, and we'll look forward to seeing you in June of 2021. If not.
Excited about a race next year, yeah. Thank you.
I'm here now with Beth Jaworski, who is a very popular realtor who works for Shore West Realty here in the Milwaukee area. And she has agreed to join us today. She's been a longtime supporter of the East Tosa Gran Prix. Beth, thanks for joining us this morning.
Well, thank you for having me.
I'm glad we finally get to meet. So let's just jump right into why East Tosa. What's going on in East Tosa that makes this such a popular race in terms of real estate and popularity and people wanting to live here?
Oh my gosh, well, East Tosa is such a vibrant community. It's a walkable community. As you see, we're filming right here in the Pocket Park, right next to Rocket Baby, Cranky Al's Kitty Corner. There's a string of restaurants up and down North Avenue. There's affordable housing, beautiful homes, bungalows, colonials, Tudors, a variety of styles, and a lot of pride in the community and in ownership here. I was approached about the East Tosa Gran Prix starting. I was super excited because when I was back in high school, we used to go to the races down on Downer Avenue.
Oh, yeah.
And I just thought it was the coolest thing to see bike races down the street. And when I heard that they were coming to East Tosa, I was in, and I've been in every year since.
Oh, that's fantastic. I know that our first year here, we were speculating some about the popularity of an event in its first year, and we were shocked at how many people showed up at this race the very first year. It was an amazing scene, and it hasn't let us down since then.
It was beautiful to see. Yeah.
So we're really
packed.
glad. We're really glad that you decided to jump in, and we hope you'll continue to support this event. You know, it's run by a volunteer organization.
I do. I think the world is run by volunteers, quite frankly.
Yes, you're exactly right. I know I'm pretty much a volunteer too, so anyway, thanks for being here today. We look forward to seeing you in June of next year. We will be back, assuming everything is a go, and we look forward to seeing you then.
Oh, thank you. It's
Thanks
my pleasure. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm here today with Andrew Lehman now, who is the Vice President of the East Tosa Alliance. And the East Tosa Alliance is really an interesting organization. They're our host for this race, but I'd really like to have Andrew tell us a little bit more about the East Tosa Alliance. So Andrew, welcome this morning.
Thank you, thanks for having us. You know, so the East Tosa Alliance, our main goal really is to keep driving business to the businesses in the East Tosa corridor, which is from 60th Street up to 76th Street here in East Tosa. There's a lot of wonderful business here that have been here for quite a few years, and some new businesses. So our goal is just make sure we're doing whatever we can to drive people to those businesses, whether they be from the neighborhood or they're from outside of the neighborhood as well.
There's racers who come from as far away as Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Europe, parts of Europe, the Caribbean, South America. But then you also have folks from in and around the metro Milwaukee area and some of the other host cities that we have will come and watch the races here. What is it about Tosa that you would like them to leave with? What do you, in East Tosa, what's the lasting image you want them to go home at the end of the day and say, wow, that was really something?
Yeah, I think when you come down and you watch the race, you really see kind of the two parts of East Tosa that make it so cool. Is as you're walking around the course, you see these houses having parties in their front yard, or just the neighborhoods, the neighbors getting together, and they're playing music, they're grilling out, they're maybe cracking a beer, and they're just having fun together. It's such a strong feeling of community. And then you come down here to North Ave, where all the businesses are, and you see just how busy it is, and how many businesses want to be in the community and give back, where they're setting up an outdoor bar, they're having specials for the people to show off what their restaurant or what their business can offer. So you see those two small businesses, and then also the neighborhood feel, and it's just such a cool spot where you don't ever have to leave if you don't want to, because you've got the community, but you've also got the businesses to provide for you what you need.
We know that this is our largest kids race of the 11 days that we host ToAD. Tell us a little bit about what do you think the magic is of all these kids showing up to ride their bikes down North Avenue?
You know, it's competition. I think all these kids, like I said, all the kids in the neighborhood, they want to ride faster than their neighbor, and they want to be able to say, hey, remember that time I beat you in the kids race? And they want to ride fast like the racers do too. You got the pros that are cruising around, and they want to be like them, and they get that chance to kind of see what it feels like to be a professional rider.
And you're okay if we build this out as the largest kids race in the world?
Oh, yeah,
are you okay with that?
That works. This year we've been fortunate to still be able to engage a lot of the different sponsors, like Beth Jaworski with Shore West, Mathnasium, different partners that are just active in the community. And it's not easy, but it's an ongoing dialogue that needs to be had, where we show them what we can do to help them with the bike race, with chilling on the Ave when we're doing that, and really just drive businesses to them, and we want to make sure that it's a mutual partnership.
Great. And I understand too that the Tosa Tourism Bureau has been involved in supporting the event as well.
Yes, yep, they've definitely been very helpful, in getting some of the funds that we need to be able to, we closed down North Ave, which is a busy street, and we're able to close it down because of the way they help us, and they help us with, getting the police department involved and Department of Public Works. It's great to have them involved.
Sounds like a great team to work with.
Yeah.
Well, we want to thank you for being here. We want to thank you for inviting us here every year. We hope you're going to invite us back in 2021.
That's the plan. I think we'd have a lot of sad people in the community if we didn't have that bike race coming back next year.
So as well. So Andrew, thanks for joining us. Thanks for your great support, and we look forward to working with you to make 2021 happen. So each year we have races from all around the world that come to race in Tour of America's Dairyland. But unique to Wauwatosa in some ways is that one of the fan favorites, Jim Stemper, grew up here in Wauwatosa, went to school here in Wauwatosa, and the Stemper Nation is loud. They are very, very loud. And our own Todd Busteed joined Jim to talk a little bit about his days when he was still racing.
ToAD on the road, Wauwatosa, where recently we've been wrapping up the series, and joining us, hometown boy from Tosa himself. It is none other than Mr. Jim Stemper. Jim, welcome to ToAD on the road. Fantastic to have you on board.
Nice to see you guys.
So, grew up in Tosa, right?
Moved to Tosa. Grew up in Greenfield, I suppose. But yeah, moved to Tosa. It was nice. By the time that I was racing ToAD, I lived in Tosa.
Okay, so you lived in Tosa, because I recall, there was an energy. So 2013 was the first year ToAD comes back. Now, you had already really made your mark on the ToAD series by then, but you remember that first race back in Tosa? There was seriously some people going crazy. Hey, it's Jim Stemper, Tosa boy. You remember that?
Todd, they call it the Stemper Nation back here.
Indeed.
Yeah. Stemper Nation.
T-shirts lining up on the fence. Absolutely, Tom. You're absolutely right.
I had a t-shirt. If I wasn't traveling right now, I would have worn it. I don't have many reasons to wear that. You can't just wear that to work these days,
It does help with context, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I mean, definitely remember that. Well, we raced ToAD all the time. I mean, it was like, it came off the back of, a crit series that was pretty well liked, but then kind of not well liked for a while. And we went right from that into ToAD, and it was way better. And we would never miss it. And so then by 2013, I mean, we'd been racing ToAD for as many years as it's been running.
Right.
So that was actually like that was almost like a swan song send off for me, because that was racing, and you guys didn't have the race in Tosa until later.
Correct.
So I was doing all the other ones. So to get to come to Tosa when I was actually like a pro and quite fit and getting ready for quite a big race, like a 13-day stage race in China, it was awesome to come to ToAD, know that I was fit, ride in front of the Stemper Nation. And we lapped the field, and then I had a guy smoke my wheel on the second last lap, so I actually got third. Rode in alone.
That course we had on North Avenue, it had that slow climb to the finish in that first version of the course, and all those great restaurants and retailers along there, and a beer garden right at the finish line in East Tosa. And it turned out that course was actually a lot harder than we all expected. It's a 4-corner race, but every race broke apart, including yours. I'm thinking of the year you were away with at least 3, the first year we had that.
Yep.
In East Tosa.
That course is like one of those courses that it was super surprising that it was a 4-corner, but there's some crit courses that are kind of a max speeds type of course. And so if you can get a little advantage on the field and ride smart, they can't catch you. It's not possible.
Yeah.
There's just only so many places you can pedal. And if you're paying attention and you ride the corners right, you don't break, you'll do better than the field. And that was totally like Tosa.
Yeah.
It was just like, and I was surprised. We got in the race and I was just like, oh, this is one of those. So, and you can tell right away, if it's difficult to get to the front of a crit, you're going to know right away that it's going to be difficult for other people to get in front. Then you're basically racing the 6 people in the front of the race, and they're racing against each other. So yeah, Tosa, having come to Tosa and finding out that there's a hill there, that was nice. That's a great course for me. I would have definitely raced it again.
Jimmy, you've raced all over the world. What do you tell people when they ask about Wisconsin racing?
Well, that's where I got good. That's like the spot. There's not many other places that are growing cycling like that. And because of races like ToAD, it's mainly the only reason I think why I even got to have a career in cycling is because of crits. And that's a type of racing that a lot of people aren't used to. Lots of people I meet, like in Colorado, aren't used to just 90 minutes or it used to be 2 hours and 12 minutes of just like aggression. Lots of people like to just pull off the gas for a little bit. So I hadn't ridden in Milwaukee in like 5-10 years, something like that. Crazy. I got to ride the other day up Lake Drive, which I think I might have ridden, 10,000 times. And it was hot, it was humid, it was flat. And so I just rode as hard as I could, because that's like all because that's Wisconsin riding. It's like, it's flat, it's humid, you may as well ride super fast. Like, why not?
Yeah.
So that's what I remember. Wisconsin racing is all about just like, it's not angry, it's like stubborn racing. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, and the history of ToAD goes back 40 years to, like you said, Super Week, and some of those events like Downer Avenue are that old, and the crowds and the communities and often the sponsors and the racers, it all gets passed down. So the heritage of the Tour of America's Dairyland, it lays on the shoulders of Super Week before it for 40 years. So we're fortunate.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think there's another race series like it in the country. It's just the best. It's developing young guys like me to get to go and play around with the big guys like Jens. You get to go and do that type of stuff just from ToAD. It gets you really interested.
Jim Stemper, thank you, man.
The
Appreciate
Stemper
it.
Nation, yeah. The
Stemper Nation, we would love to see them have a resurgence.
They come back for sure. They're still in Tosa, so we still race there.
We'll new run of T-shirts, and I'm sure they'll triple in sales. And so celebrating Tosa, celebrating ToAD on the road. Jim Stemper, thanks for joining us today, brother. Appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you. Well, that's going to wrap it up for here. From all the partners, all the fabulous sponsors, all the folks that work so hard at the venues to make this such a rich experience for a Tour of America's Dairyland. I'm Todd Busteed. Thanks for hanging